Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the press conference. As always, we have a translation. As you see on the slide, this is the statement. Channel 1 English, 2 French, 3 Spanish, 4 German, and 5 Arabic. I don't want to lose much time. It was intensive 2 days, as you know, and therefore I would like to pass the floor straight to the President, please.
Je vous souhaite.
Good afternoon. I wish you all a good afternoon here in Marrakech. And I would like to thank you also for the great interest that the national and international media has shown by being here at a time when we're organizing the last competition for 2014, which quite naturally was marked by the wonderful World Cup in Brazil. And here we are still playing the last 2 matches of the FIFA Club World Cup. In other words, the match for the 3rd and 4th place, and the final tomorrow afternoon, South America against Europe. But we were also holding here meetings of the Executive Committee. We started yesterday at 2 p.m. and we continued working till today at 11 or 11:30 a.m. I don't remember exactly. We discussed different points on our agenda, and we made certain decisions which you will find in the press release that has already been presented to you or that will be given to you shortly. We talked about competitions. We talked about Palestine and Israel issues. We talked about developing FIFA. We talked about the healthy state of finances at FIFA, which is also a good thing. And naturally, we also spoke about, and that's why I changed the order of the agenda slightly. This morning, we had the time to address the issue of this famous Garcia report. This famous Garcia report is no longer such a timely matter, because Mr. Garcia, to my great surprise, tendered his resignation. He did that 2 or 3 days ago. But our work goes on at FIFA, and work goes on also in the Ethics Committee. And the Executive Committee has immediately designated, as is its right to do between Congresses, it designated Mr. Borbeli, who was the vice chairman of the investigatory chamber of the Ethics Committee, designated him, therefore, to be the new chairman of this body till the next Congress. Therefore, the work of the committee will continue with business as usual, because we need to continue our work. You will know, because you followed with a great deal of interest, the changes in this case in September last. We had a first a report presented by Mr. Eckert, and that report was afterwards appealed by Mr. Garcia. And you know the result of that appeal. The appeals committee did not address the matter for the reasons that the committee explained. And this doubtless led to Mr. Garcia stepping down. And I want to definitely thank him for the work he has done. He has worked a great deal over the 2 years when he was at the helm of this activity, but life must go on. When we held our meeting in Zurich in November between the two chairmen of the two chambers of the Ethics Committee, since no possible agreement could be reached, in any case, we were asking the chairman of the committee of compliance, control and compliance, Mr. Domenico Scala, that is here with us today. We asked him, therefore, to address this case, to address this issue, and to draw conclusions and recommendations that, and proposals that would be presented to the FIFA Executive Committee, which is exactly what he did. He will talk about it. But I really wanted to tell you that I managed to get the support and get the Executive Committee to back the recommendation of Mr. Scala. In other words, to say yes, to agree to the publication of the Garcia report. Yes, but under certain conditions, which Mr. Scala will explain better than I could. But the most important thing was to see and share the will of the President and the ExCo to move forward here. The statutes and rules of FIFA do not allow the ExCo to produce or to publish this report, which it does not have in its possession in any case. That is the current situation. It is a pleasure for me to say so. The Executive Committee has the will, and we were gathered in plenary. The 25 people that had voting rights were there, on top of the 2 co-opted ladies who were present in this Executive Committee meeting, and they expressed their will in such a manner. That is how I wanted to introduce this press conference, and I give the floor now directly to Mr. Domenico Scala.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, in a later dated 20th of November, the both chairmen of the Ethics Committee asked me to review the Garcia report and all related documentation. It was very clear for me that as I have no role in the judicial system of FIFA, that I cannot be the judge of the judge, and therefore I cannot be arbiter or referee. The question at hand is, are there information in the report of Mr. Garcia that need to be brought forward to the Executive Committee in order for them to fulfill their obligations as the highest governing body of FIFA? A number of the questions that I had to pose in that relations were quite complicated and complex and are of a legal manner, and therefore I have handed over the report of Mr. Garcia to 2 individuals. I have handed over the report to a professor for German sports at the University of Cologne, Professor Martin Nolte. This report has also been reviewed by a former professor of the University of Zurich for civil law and association law. Lengthy report. One of the key questions, which of course is intrinsic to the Garcia report and which of course lead to also for speculations, because apparently there are some real or perceived differences between Eckert's assessment and Garcia's assessment, even if we don't know Garcia's assessment in full. The question is whether there are any sufficient grounds and findings for the Executive Committee to revoke their decision of December 2, 2010, in which they attributed the World Cup 2018 and 2022. I will not read the legal expert's opinion. I think it is pretty clear. At this stage, that's not the case. The report I gave to the ExCo covered also many other topics, in particular also changes to the bidding process going forward in order to avoid potential conflicts going forward. One key proposal which the President has alluded to is the publication of the report. I have come to the conclusion that only the Executive Committee can take a balanced decision on respecting the rights of the individuals and the confidentially granted and the interest of the public to receive that document. And therefore, I suggested that the report shall be published in an appropriate way. I think we need to be careful. And in order to make sure that we have presumption of innocence applied to all, the report shall be published after the disciplinary process against individuals which are related to the report are being finalized, and some of the names, as you well know, are being speculated in the press. The Executive Committee, and I can say that without breaching any confidentiality, had, I think, a animated discussion about this topic, as you can imagine, and came finally to a unanimous decision on this, and I'm very pleased that I could contribute to solve this, I think, important question, and I think this is a good step forward now.
Thank you, Mr. Scala. I think everything what had to be said was said. You received already a statement from both our President and also Mr. Scala, where it was explained exactly what you're talking about. But now I give the floor to you. Please, as usual, just give us your name and the publication you're working for, although I know you. Brian? Just wait. And please, one question each, so we can go through a lot of questions. Thanks.
Question for Mr. Blatter and Mr. Scala. Brian Swanson from Sky Sports News HQ. Mr. Blatter, just confirm categorically there will be no revote for Qatar and for Russia. And Mr. Scala, when can we expect to see a form of this report published?
Answer to your first question, no. The decision which has been taken in 2nd of December 2010 stands, and there is no revote to take.
To answer your second question, I hope fast. I have no influence on the Ethics Committee. I think we can only ask them to expedite their work, and I hope that, I'm actually sure that under the leadership of Colonel Borbeli, this will now get into fast track. But frankly speaking, I don't know. I don't even know who the proceedings against the persons are. I'm speculating like you are in the press. Again, I am completely out of the judicial system of FIFA.
But to go on your question, and by intervention of members of the Executive Committee, that they are under scrutiny or under interrogation now. These three personalities, naturally, they were not only not happy, but they were also, let's say, very much moved and removed by, first of all, the leak somewhere in the organization of the Ethics Committee that has given these names to the public. And the second one, also the length and the time-wasting process of the Ethics Committee. And so therefore, the Executive Committee is now asking to the Ethics Committee to accelerate the movement to take more lawyers, whatever they need to go into this phase, because we have needed now 2 years to have a first report, and now we have to accelerate the movement, and this is not only a wish, it was a decision by the Executive Committee, and also to investigate in the leak. So this must be made by the committee, the Committee of Discipline, the Disciplinary Committee of FIFA. They have to go in that. And the second one is to give this new chairman, Mr. Borbeli, a little bit of more speed, or in football speaking, that he accelerate his speed to deal with the matter.
Dan, please.
Dan Rowan, BBC News. Mr. President, do you accept that this is a low point for FIFA in terms of its reputation? How confident are you that you can repair the damage? How much damage has been done? And do you understand why some people will question how you can rule out a revote before this further publication?
Thank you for your question. First of all, I have to say I'm the president of FIFA, elected until 29th of May next year. And if there is problems inside the FIFA, as we have faced, and perhaps we will face in future, then it's not the moment for the president or the man, whoever is at the helm of FIFA, to say that he will abandon his work. That's the first thing. The second one, gentlemen, is to say that we have, and it was my initiative in 2011, when already in FIFA we had one ethics committee, to reinforce this ethics committee, to make 2 chambers of this ethics committee, and to make them independent in the sense that they will be elected by the Congress and not designated by the Executive Committee. Now the expectation in this ethics committee was great, because all the world was expecting now, and not only all the world, we, FIFA, and the FIFA Executive Committee, the FIFA family, the 209 associations, the 6 confederations, the players, the leagues, the 300 million people, they said, oh, now we have something, they will solve the problems. And instead of solving problems, they have created problems. They have created problems because there was no, let's say, concordance, not good getting together between the two chairs. And this has created these problems where we are now. But otherwise, to say what is wrong or what is not wrong, look at what FIFA is doing. The job of FIFA, what have we done? What we are doing all around the world. Football has never stopped. And it is not this item which is only linked in one of the committees that we shall abandon all the work we are doing since years in developing the football, in working for football for hope, football for health, football everywhere. Nowadays, football is played in Afghanistan, football is played in Iraq, football is played in Lebanon, football is played in Syria, football is played in Palestine. Everywhere, football is giving hope to people, connecting people. We have just presented also the finances of FIFA. They are good. We could give more to the national associations for their whatever. We work with political authorities. We work everywhere, and it is not one mention in our, or let's say in the pyramid of FIFA, where we are. All in all, 300 million active. It is not because one of the institutions is not working well that we shall abandon. No, we shall restore that, and we shall restore the credibility of this entity, which is the Ethics Committee. Imagine, the Ethics Committee, we put them to help us. And what is the result? So now we ask you to help the football, to help the international football, and to understand where we are. Thank you.
Mrs. Scholar, please.
Maybe to add a few things. I think with all due respect for the public, for the media, and for the opinions, and for the request of transparency, which I support, a revote decision can only be taken by the ExCo. There's no other entity who is accountable for that. And as long as the ExCo doesn't have the Garcia report, they have to rely on expertise, which is what I have commissioned. Based on that commission, there's nothing in the report which at this stage says that there is a revote possible or needed. And also the pending disciplinary proceedings, which we can assess from reading the report, don't have likely the potential to restate that thing. So, the report will eventually be published. We have taken note of the ExCo's decision, but it can only be the ExCo who takes a decision, and that can only be based on their own assessment or legal assessment, which I have provided by asking two individuals which are completely independent from FIFA, and I have personally commissioned them. One is a German professor, one is a Swiss professor, and we can only rely on their judgment. We cannot rely on the public opinion.
Thank you, Mrs. Scala. Charlie first, and then Herr Harm. And then we go to Mr. Warshall.
Charlie Sale, Daily Mail. Ask Mr. Blatter and Mr. Scala. Mr. Blatter, you said that you managed to persuade the ExCo to unanimously accept the recommendation. How did you do that, considering before the meeting took place, only 6 members of the ExCo were thought to be in favour, and obviously 3 of the current ExCo are still under investigation?
What do you do to convince people? To convince people is to say that what is so important when it comes to the Executive Committee of FIFA, we are the guardians of the FIFA statutes and regulations. I don't speak about the composition, how it is made in disparate manner, not elected by the same entity that the president. But it comes a situation where there must be shown unity and there must be shown determination to end a situation which has created a lot of problems. And it was also with the help of these 3 members. They have been so bitterly criticized in the world and in their own countries with the help of these that they came into this decision that everybody accepted, and to express the will, yes, we have to publish this report, but we cannot do it ourselves. We will ask, our will is to ask and recommend, not only to ask the Ethics Committee to publish it, but they can only publish it when Article 36 of the Code of Ethics is satisfied. It means that all investigations are terminated. And this was also, these people and our lawyers, they were there, they said this is the only way to go. And therefore today we made this decision, and I have asked everybody if they are in favor, and they were all in favor of such a passage. And this is important. This is important for the institution. I just spoke about the pyramid of FIFA. Every day in this world, every day, hundreds and thousands of football matches are organized. And they believe all in FIFA, in the confederations, in the national associations, all the leagues, the players, coaches, referees, what they bring towards the people. Our partners, economic partners. In the economy, football is playing a big part. There is estimated $300 billion turnover a year, not in FIFA, in the whole football, creating working opportunities, everything. That's football in our life. And we have been I said, have been in a crisis, or what's described as a crisis. We have been in a difficult situation. It's not the first time that I've found myself as president of FIFA in a critical situation. And I have to tell you that we will fight and we will bring back, but we need also the help of the public opinion, because you are making the public opinion. And please understand that football is still the game of the world. Can you imagine that the young players, the youth team of Syria, and the situation where Syria is, the young players of Syria, they have qualified to play next year's FIFA World Under-17 competition in Chile. This is all what football brings. So it's not because something is wrong that we shall abandon. Contrary, when something is wrong, we shall fight. And this we are doing. And I had big fighters today in the ExCo. And those, they have been touched, at least one of these. He was a big fighter to go on this direction.
Herr Harm, and then Andrew Warshall.
Mr. President, zwei Fragen bitte.
I have two questions, Mr. President. The two next World Cups in Qatar and Russia. So is this to say that you are bypassing the final clearance by the Ethics Committee, and other people are claiming that you are a weak leader, and that the representatives of German football and fans say? What do you say yourself?
Es obliegt mir.
It is not my duty to evaluate myself. And if you claim that I am a weak leader, then kindly ask the Executive Committee, the members of the Executive Committee. Well, this about the weak leadership, let's leave that aside. I am what I am, I've remained what I am, and I will go on working with energy in my belief in football. I'll be working for football, fighting for football, and as I said before, at least until May 29th next year, and then we shall see. And the second part of your question was what? No, about the World Cups. That had nothing whatsoever to do with the Ethics Committee. In this very moment, there is no reason to say that our decisions were wrong. So we will go on sticking to our decisions, and both tournaments are in our calendar. There's one thing that is also needed is to determine when 2022 will be played. And as said before by Mr. Scala, there must be at least a huge upheaval, and new elements should come to the fore in order to change this. But for the time being, the Executive Committee sees no need whatsoever to change anything, and this has nothing to do with the ethics.
Herr Hahn.
Mr. Harm, please. Let's not go into a dialogue. Kindly respect that other colleagues also have questions. Andrew, please.
Thank you, Walter. Like my colleagues, a question for Mr. Blatter and one for Domenico, if I may. Mr. Blatter, what would you say, given the decision today, to those who would take the view that actually the decision to publish undermines Mr. Eckert's own conclusions and ironically justifies exactly what Mr. Garcia wanted before he decided to step down? And the question for Domenico, if, as Mr. Blatter has told us, there is no chance of a revote whatsoever, or for the vote to be rerun, are we, by publication, merely are we merely talking about only individuals who could be sanctioned? And if so, that is already happening. You've already told us you don't know when we're going to get these decisions. But effectively, is that what we're talking about? Simple sanctions against individuals, nothing more, nothing less. Thank you.
Let me take this question, Andrew. We have had a report being produced, the Garcia report, which is not regulated by the Code of Ethics. We have had a response by the Judge Eggert, which is not regulated by the Code of Ethics. Because the Code of Ethics foresees the judgment on individuals and disciplinary proceedings. Mr. Eggert has tried to satisfy the needs by publishing a summary. Neither the summary nor the original report are regulated by the Code of Ethics, because the Code of Ethics regulates the sanctioning of individuals. Therefore, his judgment is his judgment, and I have no means and no authority to question his judgment. I have posed a different question. I have said, is there anything in the Garcia report, which the ExCo doesn't have, anything that at this stage will require the revote and therefore the taking back of the vote of the 2nd of December? As this is a complex legal question, I have commissioned 2 expert opinions. The ExCo still doesn't have Garcia's report. And therefore, we can only rely on the experts' opinions, which I think rule basically out on the current knowledge that this would have to be taken on the basis of the content of the Garcia report. I am not even qualified to take that judgment. I have to rely on people who are qualified to take the judgment. And I think we have found 2 individuals who are qualified to that judgment. And based on that, I think we are not taking the decision of the Ethics Committee away. The judgment of Mr. Eckert stands and it remains, and he has made an assessment on the integrity of the voting process. I have posed a different question. Are there any legal other grounds for a revote, which the answer is no.
Richard?
Mr. Blatter, Richard Conway from BBC Radio 5 Live. Jérôme mentioned in Belfast recently that it would take years to rebuild FIFA's reputation. Do you accept that, and are you the man categorically to lead FIFA on past the next election?
I think when Jérôme said that he feels that I'll be there for the next 5 years and that I'm rebuilding FIFA. It's a question to him, not to me. Yeah.
Okay, let me reword that then. Do you believe that FIFA is in a crisis right now? And are you the right man to lead FIFA into the future past the next election? Will you stand categorically for election?
I'm not a prophet, but I can tell you what I repeated already. I repeat what I've said today. We have been in a crisis. With the decision of the Executive Committee today, the crisis has stopped because we have, again, the unity in our government, and this was so important to go. And I can tell you that if I believe in the Lord. From time to time, he tells me that I can go directly to the Vatican, to the footballer Francisco, whose team is playing tomorrow in the final. The team of the Pope is playing here, San Lorenzo. I can go directly to him. So if they give me health and let's say good luck. Yes, I will bring back the FIFA, but not alone. I need my executive committee, and then I need also the football family. And the football family was just expecting now what will happen with the ExCo. The ExCo is so important because it's those, they are the guardians and the custodians of the statutes, the regulations, and all that. And I am confident. I trust in myself as well, otherwise I wouldn't be here now, I would be somewhere else. But I trust in myself and I trust in my colleagues. And together we will do it, together. Now to the second question, will you be again standing? Okay, we will see on the 1st of February who are the candidates for the election. Probably you will see my name there because I've been asked by a lot of national associations to do so. But let me pass Christmas, or let's say the big fiestas at the end of the year, and give me the opportunity then to say, yes, I'll be present. But for the time being, football needs leadership. And leadership is not only the president, leadership is the government. And the government, and I thank and I give thanks to all the members of this executive committee today for all the work we have done yesterday and today. It was a very good and a very open ambience. It was an ambience of transparency, an ambience that everybody could speak and express his opinions.
Okay, last question. If there is a question about football, we're here for the FIFA World Cup, then a second one. You?
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon. I'm from the Portuguese press. I'd like to ask a question with respect to tomorrow's match. I know that Mr. Massimo Busacca recommended a Portuguese referee for the final, and that the referee committee of FIFA approved this, but FIFA ratified Mr. Walter Lopez. I was wondering if you could explain a bit the situation and what led to that decision, please.
En español, portugués o inglés, doesn't matter. It was muito obrigado, senor. No, it was a question about the designation of the referees, the referee for the two matches of tomorrow. I don't know where you have all this information. I think there are leaks in FIFA. You should not know all this information. Definitely not. Because the committee, which committee is the referees committee, the referee committee is working in confidentiality. And you got all this information, I don't know where, not from me, but I think the appointments now which are made are absolutely correct, that for the final, which will be played by the Real Madrid and the San Lorenzo, there is a referee coming from Guatemala. He speaks the language, let's say, of at least of the two countries where they are playing, and he is from far away from the two countries. I think it is the right decision. I see on the list that Proença Pedro, he will make the match for the third place with the team Cruz Azul from Mexico, and with the famous team from the New Zealand, from Auckland. They are on their fourth or fifth match, because it was never supposed that they are going so far. Voilà, that's all what I can say, and I can say that both of these referees are great referees. They have been, at least Proença, he was one of the leading referees in the World Cup. Huh? Yeah, no?
Okay. Last question. Yes, please.
I have just one information for your information. The 19th December today Karim Benzema has his anniversary, and he's turning 27 today. Happy birthday, Benzema.
Plays tomorrow.
Yeah, play tomorrow, but happy birthday.
Please.
Is there anybody else has his birthday today? Yeah. You? Happy birthday. That's good. Happy birthday. And many, many happy days to come. Okay. Okay.
Last question, please. Yes.
Joyeux anniversaire tout le monde.
Yes, happy birthday to all, Mr. President. I'm from the second major channel of Morocco. I was wondering if you could evaluate how this Club World Cup is being held in Morocco, and also after the match in Rabat had to be changed to Marrakech. Could you have an opinion on that?
Le report de Rabat.
The change from Rabat to Marrakech was a necessary move because of the torrential rains that occurred in the Rabat area. And if you consider the cubic meters of water that fell in so short a time, I want to congratulate the organizers for having been able to change the venue from Rabat to the stadium here in Marrakech, where the lawn and the drainage systems are amazing, and that have undergone 3 matches in 24 hours with complete success. Apart from that, this Club World Cup is quite naturally a competition when the clubs from every continent come together to play. And you know that if the local club, the host club, is eliminated in the first round, as was the case this year, the interest of the local public for the matches that do not involve major teams has declined a bit. But despite that, the public interest has been good, and you will remember how last year, when Raja Casablanca reached the final stage, there was so much popular joy. It was great to see. But football is what it is. The local team of Tétouan lost its first match in a penalty shootout, and the penalty shootout is a lottery. But Morocco has made great efforts, beautiful efforts, I might say, to organize this competition. We'll have some beautiful matches here, and I also have to say that in terms of hospitality, I want to thank Morocco. I want to thank the people of Morocco for the way in which they welcome the teams from throughout the world, the officials, the referees. Everybody has been welcomed with open arms, and Morocco deserves to be congratulated for this good organization. There you have it. So, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I want to thank you. Let me thank you for your interest.
Just tell you, we are going forward with FIFA, but we need your support. We need your support. Be a little bit critic, but critics to everything, not only to FIFA. Look at perhaps at the side. If all those what has been done so far in the world, it is all very perfect, because everybody is going to one of these reports. Have you ever asked other reports, political reports from other countries? No, football. I know that's important, football, but then be footballers. And in football, you learn everything. You learn to win, you learn to lose, and you learn fair play. So with the good wishes for the season greetings for everybody, see you tomorrow at the final matches. Thank you for your interest. I am a happy president today, because my government is with me. Thank you.